So we know the Death Guard Codex and 2 Wound Plague Marines are coming soon. Let's talk about how strong this might be for the Death Guard and how other armies might cope. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, the strategy focused 40k channel where we're all about getting the most out of our miniatures on the tabletop. Now it's fairly old news now that all Space Marines are going to be getting 2 wounds as their codexes come out in 9th. We've already got it for the standard Space Marines and the Blood Angels, Dark Angels and Space Wolves, with Chaos, Grey Knights, Thousand Sons and Death Guard all waiting for their update when their codex comes out. As soon as we knew that the change was happening, I think that a lot of people's minds went to Plague Marines and just how hard to shift they might be if they gained an extra wound for a small increase in points. They're already fairly hard to shift, so it seems likely that doubling the amount of wounds they have is going to make them a bit of a nightmare. Unlike 8th edition, 9th edition is a lot more slanted in terms of durable, hardy units. The primary objectives are essentially defend objectives from 8th edition, so it's all about putting units on objectives that aren't just going to get gunned straight off the table. You've only got 5 turns to score objectives in, so if your army is durable enough to survive and score for 4 out of those 5 turns, then you're likely a shoo into winning already. It's certainly seen armies like Death Guard and Custodes have far better win rates than they did in 8th, even before they get any kind of update. I'd say for Death Guard, Plague Marines are sort of on the cusp of whether or not they're really viable in the most competitive events. At 18 points, toughness 5, a 3-up save and a 5+ disgusting resilience, they're already really quite tough even with just 1 wound. They do also have numerous great synergies within the codex, such as being able to get 5+ invul saves, re-rolling those disgusting resilient rolls, and all sorts of things to buff their bolters or blight grenades. However, disgusting resilience, their 5+ save to ignore wounds, is just so much more powerful on big multi-wound models than it is on single wound models. If they ever get hit by damage 2 or greater weapons, then it means that their save is just really unlikely to pass and save any one model. So it means while they're still decently durable against 1 damage weapons, anything with damage 2 or D3 really chews through them very quickly. Going up to 2 wounds with a 5+ disgusting resilience save though is really going to fox things like damage D3 or damage 2 weapons, and of course make them almost twice as durable point for point against damage 1. We do know that from the Space Marine book before it, getting an extra wound will come with a small points increase, and the vast majority of Space Marine units that have gone up to 2 wounds have gone up just 3 points to put double the wounds on the table. Tactical Marines went from 15 to 18 points, and Death Company went from 19 to 22. I think it's not an unreasonable guess that Death Guard Plague Marines might go up to 21, or perhaps 22 if Games Workshop really does value that Feel No Pain as being extra valuable on 2 wound models. Either way, unless they do get any other funky profile boosts, it will mean that they have a relative nerf to their damage output. You're likely to be paying for more durability and not getting any killia for it, so it'll push them even further down the Death Guard route of just being insanely durable, but not being as big of a threat in terms of damage, at least relative to other armies. It's going to make it even more of a grueling roar of attrition to fight with or against these guys. I thought it could be quite interesting to have a look at their durability point for point if we estimate their new points cost to be 21 and compare the new style Plague Marines against the old, or against another couple of durable elite troops such as Intercessors from Space Marines or Admech Cataphrone Breachers. I think the main takeaway from these numbers is that the 2 wound Plague Marines will be significantly more durable against bolt rifles and small arms fire, while not really all that much more durable point for point against things like autocannons, thunderhammers or las cannons. When you've taken into account at least a 3 points bump, it does mean that they're slightly improved, but not all that much more efficient, at least when compared with their current version. Either way though, Death Guard do pretty much outclass Intercessors or Cataphrone Breachers pretty much across the board, though I guess you would expect them to, as they're a lot more about durability than damage output. Overall, I think that this could make them a bit more of a useful choice for the Death Guard troop slot, as it means you'll have another unit that just really doesn't care about being hit by small arms fire. So you could very easily have an entire Death Guard army that doesn't care about it, all the way from their lightest troops being Plague Marines up to their very tough Demon Engines. It does mean that they will still fold to heavy weapons, but at least in that case you'll be distracting the heavy weapons either from targeting tough Demon Engines and heavy hitters, or whether they want to try and chew through basic troops, which isn't likely to be the most efficient use of them. So overall, I do think that Plague Marines could be a very intimidating threat. A Death Guard army is likely to be able to put down 30 for them for just over 600 points, and that's going to be a right nightmare to clear off any objectives. 60 toughness 5 wounds backed up by Feel No Pain, and likely some really good character synergies. I don't know whether the character buffs will stay exactly the same as they are now, but Death Guard have a whole host of light infantry support characters, with pretty much all of their buffs revolving around Plague Marines in some way. If they keep some strong ways to amp up their damage output, like that Blight Bombardment stratagem or abilities to fire their bolters multiple times, then the Death Guard could have a very durable and scary battle line indeed. Potentially even scarier than the Plague Marines though are the Blightlord and Deathshroud Terminators. We know that Terminators are going to be going up to 3 wounds now, and again if these guys only get a small points bump while going up to that insane level of durability, then they're going to be even more scary. Deathshroud and Blightlords already deal very decent damage in close combat, and unlike Plague Marines where you could almost try and ignore the damage output to an extent, you're really not going to be able to do that with a big unit of these, and I'm sure there'll be ways to stack other durability buffs on top of that, either with psychic powers, stratagems or auras. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what's going to be happening with the Death Guard when their codex comes out. I'll be very interested to hear your thoughts as to whether you think there's a big Plague Marine battle line is going to be a strong pick when it comes out. It's very hard to see how cheap wounds of toughness 5, 3-up save and feel no pain couldn't be a problem in 9th edition though. If you've enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'm certainly hoping to cover the Death Guard in a bit more detail when their codex drops. Finally, if you have been enjoying the videos, I'd just like to mention that the channel has a Patreon page, which you can find down in the video description below. If you are watching regularly, then any support is massively appreciated, as the videos do take a fair amount of time to make. There are a few other advantages, such as seeing new videos early, regular votes on what sort of things come next, and automatic entry to the prize giveaways, with a chance to win some big kits each month. If any of that sounds good to you, or you'd just like to help support, the link's down in the video description. In any case, a massive thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.